oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's all. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who could have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, meet no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, meet no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, meet no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, meet no surrender. It's time for a change, gotta bounce up. The oppressor's about to get tossed up. I'ma lay him out, execution style's too late for an apologetic claim. You wrapped in a cloak of flame, by God, it's overdue. Your time is to the end. Locked out silent without sin. He put me on the planet for justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled down with suppressors attached in the war zone. Revolution can start in the Arizona. I'm a messenger pocket like Theracone. Backed by the honorable who sits at the pinnacle, who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the plentiful simple. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protected service. Quick to pull the Glock, blast and kill. This don't take any type of skill. I'm ill of all citizens who haven't took a stand. Oh, and it's too late when the caps get filled. Don't believe in TC type. Going hits close to home. You gotta act the bone, but it got the dome when it's on the zone. All red on my vision through sight. It's gonna be killed whenever I fight. From above, I've been given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. On the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' win them out, so gon' pass the kite. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, meet no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, meet no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, meet no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, meet no surrender.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in the ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a, gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere, big, you want to be successful, you want to be like Trump. Gimme, 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 push, 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 step, 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 crush, crush, crush. That's how
now you got chlorophyll, all right? You're not getting no more catnip because you're acting retarded, bro. No more catnip, man. I don't even know why I gave it to you. You acting real funky. Now look, man, you know, I don't hit animals, but you do that one more time because I'm moving your ass and I had to pick you up and throw you in here. And now you're looking like, you can't test me, man. I ain't your mammy and your pappy that's gonna sit there and squabble with you. I'm gonna pick your ass up and I'm gonna fling your ass until you realize you don't have no wings. That's my boy. Yeah, don't get beside yourself. I know it's instinctual. I know there's a whole lot of bad memory in you from bad people. But you're gonna learn different here. I ain't gonna have that shit. Pearl's cat did that one time. And that mug slept with me and everything, just like you do. The nerve. Cause you ski. I'm gonna put my foot up your ass. You got punks put the costume on, they can't even handle little dogs. They shooting little dogs and kids and shit. I got a history of beating pit bulls and Rottweilers' asses up.
Now watch time and space rock the great matriarch, whether it's day or dark.
Don't do that. And you kept it short. You knew you fucked up. That catnip, you get a break. That's, I think it's a drug. And you trying to climb up and get to it.
The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creation is spark. Ways the heart as I sun ray, my art, her link, the patriarch. Most social media, saviors I fix. Marks must be made, knowledge war is when the run and base. I rose up, took a shower, purified my auric field. Took comfort for a walk to ensure my chlorophyll is pumping. Done some pros for sure, I forged a build. Solid foundation, my crown, chakra, core and heel. Pound the pavement, sacred ground, freedom I stand for. Free all political prisoners of war, man or woman in jail, with the land of all foreign and alien entities. I decree this morning, send them back to whence they came. Is the peace laugh or war cry, whatever the relevant name of each path, ship or highest form, spiritualities, how you teach math. A humble beast is still a beast. Now feel the beast wrath, rain fire on them, and the internet forms, sigils, emojis, and the avatars that wore them. Destroy this de facto government and its quarrels. Establish Big Mom's house so she may restore him. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark. Waves the heart as I sun ray my art, her made the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fake marks. Once we make knowledge more is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates the spark. Waves the heart as I sun ray my art, her made the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fake marks. Once we make knowledge more is when rhyme and bass drop. The next host, note this yourself, quit playing, hit the gas. This shaft is called my turn, take the risk, it's fast. Most of them got vaccinated with chips in their ass, plus rappers sacrificing each other for grist in their cash. Sad shit, watch videos with other subliminals, predictive programming weirdo, shrunk menstrual shows, the land's contaminated, fruits and vegetables, black minerals, the water and skies are fried. Liquid chemicals, technology got me here in front of my desktop, perusing these beasts and whatnot for my best option, contemplating which bar will next spot to unlock the minds that are stuck within a Xbox off the chart. I continue to climb, watching the rest flop like carp fishing, 100% fresh shark water. I'm on the front line, X marks the spot. I shine because of her, for she's the best part. A great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates this spark. Waves the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes marks. Once we make knowledge more is when time and space rock. The great matriarch, whether it's day or dark, creates this spark. Waves the heart as I sun ray my art, her make the patriarch. Most social media saviors are fakes marks. Once we make knowledge more is when the rhyme and bass drops. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the great matriarch. Honor and respect to our ancestors. Jah, you've always had a father. Off of your flow, push your fire starter to the halls of your glow. But the trail I've blazed, I pray you turn from it. The hell I've raised, I pray you don't burn from it. The work I put in, I pray that you earn from it. The mistakes I've made, I pray that you learn from it. You my splitting image, you're darker, little taller. I'm a shot caller, though you just a little baller. But chief, I'm still teaching you like he got yang. My healing, reaching you despite me, lock and chain. Black you speaking true, you ignite lots of pain. I feel the releasing of lightning and drops of rain from the sound cloud. You shine like me, the crown sprout. But unlike me, shine, you haven't turned down loud. The smoke screen which surrounds you, shrouds your style. I shall allow your genius to astound the crowd. You my beloved, you scintillate profusely. You my beloved, you resent fate foolishly. You my beloved, do ventilate truthfully. You my beloved son, in who I'm well pleased. Okay, shall it, your vision is reaching that my descending with filming your intuition extends the lenses felt where your cinematographic flashes of your scripted class get your inner magic, dramatic action mixed with vivid aspects mastered, surpasses the average glass, stretches the facet through the scope of life's Kodak you see classic. The question you have is mathematics, please ask it. Son, Earth's a classroom, so put your hand up. And last boom, you already knew the answer. I pray to God to give me another chance for the love of my life, my wife, just a romancer. In the misconception, no time, 1 second guessing, it's destined. You knew who was who through a reflection that she showed you of me many years ago. Special features presentation appears to show you my beloved. You ventilate profusely, you my beloved. You resent fate foolishly, you my beloved. You ventilate truthfully, you my beloved son, in whom I'm well pleased. Now Samuel, I am your for sure that the signal isn't scramble or be programmable. From a little cub to a lion, not of my bloodline. Don't give a damn, don't love you as if you was mine. I'll be the first. Forgive me for my absence. The most time sat me down to learn patience through abstinence. Amongst other lessons, perfect my craft and talents. Balance of our legacy in the Black Hawks talents. Face adversity, overcome all challenges. Generational wealth for the next generation to us. Can't make the same mistakes of past senses. Then let's create an after we cry relapses type of atmosphere. Redirected fire, recalibrate the energy to propel us higher. As sovereign, opulent, autonomous, niches. I look at all three of my sons. On God, I see you, my beloved. You ventilate profuse, you my beloved. You resent fate foolishly, you my beloved. You ventilate truthfully, you my beloved. Sons in whom I'm well pleased.
Ancient tiny secret now. Yes. Did you not pay attention in your history class? Partner, wake up. Yes, sir. Partner, wake up. Yes, sir. Partner, wake up, son. It is written that it's nothing new under the sun. Nothing new. And that the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So take your position. Don't you know you are part of that scripture, yo? Yo, you been getting in the way and what you knock you down. Yes, but we gon' bring the light, yeah. A Max P production, baby. You know what it is. Listen, I'm known to tell you to fight back. There's no need to sell crack just to live fat. Why don't black superstars simply give back when they know it's a struggle just to live black? Can you picture that, Mr. Aristocrat? I'm coming from the bottom, rising to the top. And conscious is the tone on the CDs I drop. I won't flip-flop like a black bass, but I will put a message in the song before I hook your ass. See, we first class living, worse than slaves of the earlier days. And we adapted the ways of the slave master. I stand upon it, the very rock which put your people in bondage just to get 100. The big face kind, and it don't matter if it's making people lose their freaking mind. That's why I'm speaking mine, hopefully to change yours, to pull you out of these streets from these drugs and strange whores. Huh. Is anybody there? Is there love out there? Is anybody there? Is there love out there? It's like we died inside, no longer having pride. We're still for rides, a new skill to hide. And like the red tide, go and get our heads dyed. Rebel against the laws in the cities we reside. Sleep the circumstance, though our eyes open wide. Fail to coexist, let alone coincide. Eat chicken many ways, but prefer it fried. Like your man on death row when his relatives cried. Is death a mistake because somebody lied? And we can only pray that Christ is by his side. Convicted on the statement implied with no proof. Now will the warden cry that he killed another youth? I truly doubt it, that's why we stay in the booth. Just cause it ain't enough, we should demand and show proof. And if they overlook our voices, then we raise the roof. Which one of y'all do?
I'm gonna give you some vocal lessons, though, bro. No, that's good. That's good.
People being that I feel like I'm a slave, maybe slave. Yo, man, you made a serious mistake, slave. Slave to me, homie. Slave to the system. Yeah. Sound like a winner right there. Come on. I slaved to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folks free. I slaved to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folks free. I slaved to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folks free. I slaved to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folks free. Hold up a minute, fam, let me ask you this. Did your last promotion offer you an ass to kiss? Hashtag for this. I know a better way, admit it honestly. Wonder why you bastard shit. Your heart's got to be right to make it from here. For animosity and hate, you can place it here. No time for pity. We partying all the way. No time to be the victim. We got a call to take. Keep it square and watch God fall the fake. A linebacker reads well before they call the play. Hoping you always say. Hoping
What you doing up there?
Invest a little bit of time in a taller day. Forget the ball and play. We got stakes in Israel with much more beef than the shark can say. Now that's the scholar's way. No lust for the cause of throwbacks. In fact, give them all away. I slaved to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free. I slaved to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free. I slaved to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free. I slaved to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be with, I wanna see my folk free. Inside my circles are deep bows and little Urkels, and need no brown types with no remorse. If they hurt you, many out to take you. Plotting schemes for your paycheck. And no, I'm not a snitch just because I come and say that. You dude, I don't play that. When my boy G-Lo was killed, you know you saw me on the news. If you choose to look way back, so stay back. I'm militant like Osama, intelligent like Obama. And you can ask your mama, no need to wonder. I'm like the 10th one under the commission of the author of life. When I was younger, I would do what a thug would tend to do. And if you got the last lick, quickly remember you. Our lives change, but still things remain the same. Slave masters got these brothers' brains and chains. Yo, I'm feeling your pain. Down and out in life, saying your prayers, but not seeing the change. We in the sin nation. A slave to the system, then I broke free. Although I may not be.
When you want to sit that? Get that back. 1980? I mean 1990? Salt and pepper? What's up? What's up?
A slave to the system.
What's up, Baba? You want to go outside? The chlorophyll's good for you. Okay? Yeah. I'm going to take you out. You're going to read. I'm going to be on I'm a little bit over an hour, okay? All right? You know I got to talk shit. Won't you be my little shit talker? At least with you don't get offended. And you don't want that shit, though. I will rip you asunder. I ain't create you and make you, but I show how you come back to this motherfucker. Let me stop playing. Y'all know ASPC. I'm just talking smack. No, he did a little, because see, with dogs, Mark, when they come around here, and he smell it, you gotta remember, cats, when they see you, if they look away in the sunlight and they look at you, they don't see you first. No, they can smell. The senses are heightened. They see your energy. And me, I must look like a ball of light to him, because he was like, and his eyes really, I mean, they really trying to get a fix on me. And when I went to say, hey, what's that? And I knew it. I just wanted to see it. He went, and then he got a scent. And he was like, oh, and then he came up and rubbed between my legs. Oh, y'all think it's a game? All right. If you haven't tested, you haven't found out. So, hey, look, I want to read some stuff to y'all right quick. Then we'll get into reading. It's going to be 3 small stories out of 100 years of lynching. The third one's going to, this is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. Then we're going to go right into facts of facts. I was going to read a little Arthur Kessler, but I want to keep things between the wars of the Anunnaki and the DNA of the gods. If any of y'all remember me reading Emerald Tablets about Enlil, all the stuff that was going on between the female and the male, and the fact that he created a certain group of people, believed to be here, who were different from everybody, who were inventors and creators. And then when they came and washed everybody away, he protected us. I'm just saying, if you haven't read the books, man, it's on you. And for those who have a little better truth of history compared to the liars, and I won't say Jew, Gujar, whatever, we already know that those individuals, the identity of them are fraudulent. Now it's the rest of the world, these good Christians. And what's surprising me, though, is Islam. Islam came long after Christianity, y'all. I used to say otherwise. But based on what I've studied, going around the world, being a Muslim studier. Somebody you could say like ethnopsychology or ethnoanthropology, you know, ethnoanthropology, ethnopsychology or sociology. I had to diverse myself into it to find the truth. Why would brothers in a religious context want to murder one another? We just had somebody share a clip from Malcolm X when he was still with the FOI under Elijah Muhammad, when Minister 4X, or whatever his name was, long before he went to his, made his Shahada, when went to Africa and walked the Kabbalah and everything, and came back, and he was separated because he had told about the little girls that was having sex with this old fart, right? And when he had started establishing himself working at the what's called Wall Room before that murder in Harlem, those knuckleheads from Newark, New Jersey, go figure, went over there under the guys working for the feds to assassinate him because they worked hand in hand with the feds who were there. That when he said the second time that you and I are Aborigines, nowhere in that conversation, in a total different look from when he, in his youth of his 30s, well, in the time 20s, when you saw that first time he said African American, it says you are not black, blah blah blah. Well, the last time before, not that long before he's murdered, he says you want to be black in everything. See, now he was discouraging the same phenomenon, but you and I are Aborigines. So they wanted to allude that being an Aboriginal African. That makes absolutely no sense because the majority of the people I met there, and I don't like using the term African, knew where they were from. There are some over there still because this is what the fake Jews, the only lab, because based on the Portuguese, were able to do because they're one and the same, would say Bantu. Most people don't even know the truth of the Bantu. Okay? You say that to anybody today and they're like, what? Who? I remember my boy Borman. I was like, you know what the Bantus? The Bantu what? The doggone, man, we heard some stories about them. Most people aren't, they say they don't hear nothing until they hear, when they come here, or some goofy professor with some law looking like Einstein over there teaching some nonsense from Germany or whatever. So let me read this. So at CBS, not all black people are African American. Here's the difference. Now this is created by a very arrogant, ignorant Negro. Now I'm just going to read it, all right, and then we'll get into the meat, all right. So bear with me. So not all black people are African American. Here's the difference. Now this is by Sidney Adams, okay. So first of all, just saying they're black, using the term black, shows that this person is not as well educated as you think. They don't have the knowledge we have. This is somebody created by the system and the corporation, and somebody at CBS, he would get a front page. You can guarantee that. Black Lives Matter protests, here you go, have opened up conversations about the history of privilege, racism, and the lived experiences and identities of black people in America. There ain't no black people in this land. Now, the distinction between, except for ignorant ones, listen to this. The distinction between black and African American. Who owns the copyright to African American? That's all I'm gonna say with that one. Has become a prominent conversation on social media. No, it has not. Many people often default to African American out of a desire for either political correctness or politeness. The two terms are often used interchangeably, but that isn't always accurate. And it's important to understand the nuance when discussing race, both in America and on a global scale. There are black people in every continent, don't they mean on continent, who are all continent means landmass, right? So how can you be in it? Who are all over the world, explained Professor Celeste Watkins Hayes. Y'all need to look him up. See his fraternity, and you know, one of them ring wearers. An African American studies professor and a goofy at Northern University. I mean, come on. African American is nation specific. Now they're attempting to intellectualize something brand new. Remember I said I can have your children believe in red is black and black is red? We are typically talking about black people who are born in the United States. Black people. I might as well go ahead and get a bunch of Legos and them Lego guys and throw them around and say, here goes some black people. Non-existent. What that means is, for a long time in our country history, black people were most likely direct descendants of enslaved Africans. No such thing ever existed here. Watkins Hayes described the adoption of the term African American as a very deliberate move on the part of black communities to signify our Americanness. What black community? Who? You call somebody black back in the 40s and 50s, you get your throat cut. See, this is what I'm talking about, the consistency of stupid and ignoramuses. But also signify this African heritage. Yo, grandmammy, if you're my age, would have been like, African what? They'd have called you crazy. Except for the ones that got to making some good money and being around the circles where that became the common knowledge of something with a false sense of fiat. You know what I'm talking about? Reparations. Greedy ass niggas and nigresses. Over time, immigration to the United States increased, and people who identify as black in America were also likely to be first and second generation immigrants. Lies, without a direct connection to the history of slavery in this country. So if we think about what's happened post, they didn't even fucking know nothing about no slavery over there happening over here. They just knew about our greatness. Happened in post 1960s. What you've seen is rising immigration among black people who are not born in the United States. People who are coming from Africa, from the Caribbean, from Europe, who identify as black but don't identify as African American. It's funny how this dumbass niggas in Jamaica and Haiti has all accomplishments, and most of our people going down there are unaware that when they worshiping this goofy ass Haile Selassie, the punk that fled Ethiopia, we were going over there teaching them how to fly planes to beat back Italy. I'm so tired of you goofy ass niggas. Darren LeBlack, the director of diversity, equity, and inclusion, I don't hate you, just tired of your stupidness. Strategy at the digital marketing agency, Huge Incorporated, was born in Jamaica and raised in the United States. So he was raised out at sea or in the Vatican or somewhere in the fake crown king of England, huh? The United States is not America, you retarded. That shows you how dumb they've made them. I got a degree, yes, and being very stupid and a prodigal son of the father. You know what you always say? You are the perdition, sons of perdition. You are the, what is it? You are the children of the sons of perditions. You are your father's creation. Y'all call him Satan, you religious dumb fucks. I am black. This is what he says. I am black, and within that, I am a Jamaican-born African American. Boy, he don't know what he is. I tell you, they make him dumb now, y'all. American man. But I call myself and identify as black. Never go to these individuals and ask anything. Never attempt to learn nothing from them. Please don't. He explained, I have had to take on different identities at different periods of my life. That should be big time explanatory to something other. But my blackness is the and we're all different shades of brown, is the overreaching umbrella of those different flavors of my identity. Now is identity is a fucking flavor. This is the way they think they're speaking smoothly. This is how liberal, that means dumb and liberal people can be. Liberal, and remember that. And I create another word. Brickz experience is just one example of the complexities of black identities. So blacks got many different identities? What the fuck? Especially in the United States. This is America. This is not the United States of America, or it's just America, the Republic. Some people originally from other countries who live in the United States, except African Americans, because, listen, some people originally from the other countries who live in the United States, except African American, because of its cultural and historical roots in the black experience. Y'all know that was an experiment. So fucking dumb. That is specific to this country. African American technically isn't even what I am, he said. I am a Jamaican-born black person. Nice, black, stupid ass. But I have taken on this label of African American because of where I live. Stupid again. These layers of racial identity they need to stop jumping off stages on the booties and stuff and dancing and smoking too much of that jacked up weed. Identity can be extremely personal and nuanced. There are some Americans who identify as both and some who prefer it, because there are many people in Jamaica who know that they're indigenous. From here or there. They know it. There are some Americans who identify as both. These layers of racial identity can be extremely personal and nuanced. Oh my God, that nuance. Talk about fake crayon colors and identities. There are some Americans who identify as both, and some who prefer black over African American because they can't actually trace their lineage. Of course they can't, the dumbasses. Part of what was stolen when we think about slavery, when we think about colonization, is y'all's fucking mind, was that lineage, said Watkins Hayes. They are saying, I don't even feel comfortable claiming African because I don't know the story of where my people have come from. Nowhere over there. Black is often a better default that recognizes and celebrates the race, culture, and live race. Y'all know who created that? We're going to get into that. Just hold on. Lived experiences of both all over the world. The move that you see now towards black is really to recognize the global nature of blackness. What the fuck? Watkins Hayes said, so I think that is more universal term. No, it's not. The recognition of a larger community of black people is also part of ignorance of the rationale given for capitalizing the word. And it's been capitalized by the very people who's over there killing the Palestinians or the gypsies. It's recognizing the made fake war in World War II and one. Cultural and historical and social significance of black as a category such as that is deserved capitalization. Watkins Hayes explained, we are all connected. LaBeck said of what the term black means. No, we're not for him. For him, that dumbass. Our experiences are different, but we are still linked. Y'all know I don't have to make this fake cussing. What I'm doing is, like they push gay, I'm telling you that the words that I'm utilizing aren't no foul words. They're not to be commercialized or not. These words don't mean nothing other than the state and the fact, the statement, the state of mind, and the being behind what I'm saying. It's always the weak ones who are going to use something to collaborate, some form of institutionalized mentality to be a perverse nature or something. So fuck a dick, right? But Watkins, that's what they all do anyway. But Watkins Hayes adds that if someone wants to know for sure how a black person, no such thing, identifies, it's best to simply ask what their preference is. It's an opportunity for conversation. As you know, we're the only ones that have the self-right to identify as we choose. Why? Because most people's identities are fraudulent across the board. Okay? So I wanted to read that. You can look in that idiot's switch card and find his face and all that. I would advise you not to. It would be a waste of time. I just wanted you to read that. I just wanted to read that and let you hear what we're dealing with the generations too under us. How dumb in the plutocracy of everything they have become, literally. Okay? And they make them comfortable. They give them a six-figure job so that they won't look and hear none of this. I'm not saying this to be mean or hateful towards him. I'm throwing a slight at his ass. He wouldn't debate me on anything. You know, did he read about James Baldwin? He picked his boy. He probably went, that guy's gay. Did he learn anything about W.E.B. Du Bois? How about Marcus Garvey? Okay? Check this one out. I'm just getting started. So where did the Negro race come from? Around 1442, 1491, 1492, 1493. Like 1442, the Portuguese first arrived, and it's always these new conquered people with a new identity. The first arrived in southern Africa while trying to find a sea route to India. Why would they have to arrive in southern Africa when they could have walked right to fucking northern Africa, to which Italy, all them places are? Now you see the divvying up of the map to create a new narrative, to establish a new people, and they give them so they can make wars with each other later. These people are crazy, insatiably retarded. Anyway, sea route to India. There was no such thing as India in 1442. Nowhere except for India Minor, Asia Superior, right here with when it was the Piri map or whatever, and so-called the Republic. This is the only place on any map. Now, they went back, and some people have been going and looking at the Piri map, seeing where they've been retouching it. Some fake-ass French and Sweden or Norwegian fucking have been going and trying to take the pictures and Photoshop and add shit that was never there. Thank goodness I have the original one that has no such thing as India, not even fucking Hindustan. So as I said, the Portuguese, these are Gujar, this is Chazars, first arrived in southern Africa. No, they didn't in 1442. It's a complete lie. This is a full creation, a lie, and I have to read it to you. What in southern Africa in 1442, there was no such thing as Africa. This is how they screw up. That's why they want to do everything. That's why Biden and all them punks, because it ain't the country, want to create a nuclear war or whatever. I'm not giving that no energy, man. They can suck an ass. I know what comes at the end. So anyway, literally meaning look, the term Negro literally meaning black. Now, do I have to go back and show you what Negro means necromancer and black means dead? This is not even based on the Black's Law Dictionary right there. This is like pre-Donna, and we already went over where the acronyms, where they're based from and when they were created. So the term Negro does not mean black. That is something created when? And around, created and then formulated and then utilized in 18 what? Was used by the Spanish and Portuguese as a simple description to refer to the Bantu peoples that they encountered. If that's the case, then why does it say, and these motherfuckers are supposed to be Christians, right? Ham is the progenitor, father of the dark races, the Ethiopians, Cushites, to which was alluded to original Africans, not the people pushed out of so-called fictional made-up Europe, and Egyptians, but not the Negroes. See, the Egyptians, because you got a bunch of dumb pale skins right now running around, yeah, Tutankhamun, and they were light-skinned with, yeah, and they sound so stupid right now. But when you go back to Africans like Maurice Dore and other people who was Moorish over there, Morocco, who says, Ham is the progenitor, father of the dark races, well-known Ethiopians and Cushites and Egyptians, but not the Negroes who are from Shem and Jacob. Africans know more than anyone that black Americans are no kin to them. I go back and I find scholars who are college educated to read the fact of what they know on that land. I ain't talking about these goofy Americans that go over there 3-4 generations, come back over here with their goofiness when the Africans really didn't want their ass over there because like James Taylor and all them, they were making war against them people because they work with the feds. Oh, y'all didn't think about that. Oh, yeah. It's pretty bad. Hold on. I'm not done. I mean, y'all can go back to the Bible or the Concords or the Apocrypha and look at Adam, Noah, Abraham, and others, and you can see for yourself. But you have all these light-skinned, see, most of the light-skinned Americans, y'all call white folks, they're pretty dumb because of what the fake, you know what, did in Hollywood, and they push the narrative to create some fake white supremacy, calling all our land over here in our grand cities white this and the white that. And they had to indoctrinate them, but they didn't create the monorail, they didn't invent the train, they didn't invent the car, they didn't invent the helicopter, the blimp, they didn't have a toilet. We had to invent that for them to flush and the toilet paper. Look, we made a simple way for them to wash their ass. I'm serious, y'all. And y'all know I done went through half, like not even half of all the inventions we created, the bicycle, the electric. Listen, and yet they still have a hard time. Well, nobody in Africa invented shit like that. We were sharing information, just like your fake ass CIA shared all like, why is the Chinese and all the other foreign running around with our same equipment and everything? Because these bastards want, it's based on these fake whatchamacallits who want to see everybody fight. It's not on equal terms. All right? So, we're going to cut this and we're going to knock this and the Negro and the Africans the same shit in the ass. And anybody black, educated, if you feel some kind of way, bring your ass over here with all your degrees and let's sit down. I'm going to use all the books that you got, show that how you don't have to interpret nothing. I'm going to go and hit some people up who used to work on curriculums and to see what you got to say with that, because y'all don't work on curriculums, to show you how they were prodded to teach and change shit yearly. Dumbasses. So who was the progenitor of the Canaanites? Canaan, the son of Ham and grandson of Noah. Why they always mention Shem, Japheth, and Ham and not the fourth? So y'all need to know the Ham's name in Hebrew is Tom. Well, that's what they say. It means black, the presence color of the Negro, which is a lie. And this is if you go to the Library of Congress. And the only reason why I say it's a lie because the Library of Congress has to have things tampered with. There are things that I saw when I was in the Library of Congress that wasn't only questionable, was non-feasible when you start, and that depends on where you're at, what floor you're on, and what you're searching for. You have to sometimes get through all the chatter. Doesn't mean that everything is undebatable. You have to look at the time it was created, when it was whatever was annulled, and what it was accepted. See, that's what a lot of people don't know, is to look at when something was accepted, right? So the Negro, what is his ethnological status? The Library of Congress. Is he the progenitor? Is he the progeny of Ham? Is he a descendant of Adam and Eve? Has he a soul? Or is he a beast in God's nomenclature? What is his status as fixed by God in creation? What is his relation to the white race? This is by Ariel, a fake Jew, a Gujar. Truth, though sometimes slow in its power, is like itself always consistent, and like the author will always be triumphant. The Bible is true. Cincinnati, published from the proprietor, 1867. And you'll notice that everything is between 1850s and 1920s or 40s. Copyright secured according to law. What law? And what history? Who makes the law on history? Don't no Peckerwoods come from nowhere all of a sudden tell us our history. And there ain't no law. The Negro, what is his ethnological status? Is he the progeny of Ham? Is he a descendant of Adam and Eve? Has he a soul? Or is he a beast in God's nomenclature? What is his status as fixed by God in creation? What is his relation to the white race? Truth, though sometimes slow in its power, is like itself always consistent, and like author will always be triumphant. The Bible say, and I ain't say Trump. So what is the ethnological status? The Negro. Is he the progeny of Ham, as we read, and it's going to read it again over and over, all right? So the intelligent will see at once that the question of slavery, either right or wrong, is not involved in this caption for examination, nor is that question discussed. The points are purely ethnological and biblical, and are to be settled alone by the Bible and by current, this is focusing and directing, okay? Concurrent history, and by facts existing outside of the Bible and of admitted truth. We simply say in regard to ourselves in this day of partisan strife, something that never existed here, religious and political, that we take no part in any such party strife, and that it is many years since we cast our last vote. This much to prevent evil surmises. What this understood independence of all parties, we begin by saying that the errors and mistakes in understanding the true position of the Negro, I ain't your Negro, thank you, James Baldwin, as God intended it, I am God, for it is a state, it to be in his order of creation. We created, and y'all robbed it, are all traceable to and arise out of two assumptions. The learned men of the past and present age, the clergy and ethers, they spelled wrong, have assumed that's true. One, that the Negro is a descendant of Ham, the youngest son of Noah. This is false and untrue. Exactly. That the Negro is a descendant of or the progeny of Adam and Eve. This is also false and untrue. These questions are rather these assumptions of the learned and unlearned world are biblical and are to be settled by the Bible alone, whether they be true or false, and by outside concurrent history, and of facts known to exist and admitted to be true by the intelligent. And as there's a whole lot of word gibber, you'll know these fake ones do it, and as they may serve to elucidate any statement or account given in the Bible, we shall have frequent use of them. Logic of facts, and now explain what we mean by it. It is this: if one sees another with a gun, and analogies, in his hands, and that he shoots a man and kills him, and the bullet is found afterward in the dead man's body, that although we did not see the bullet for put into the gun, yet we know by this logic of fact that it was in the gun. It is the strongest evidence of what is true, or any testimony that can be offered. So whatever is going to be said is she's building a temple to make sure your focus and direction is in one content based on what you believe, which is not knowing. So that way she can correlate this magnified version of the narrative that she's painting so grossly without stating it, even though she says untrue, we're not the same. Pay attention. It will be admitted by all and contradicted by none. That's control. That we now have existing on earth two races of men, the white and the black. We beg here to remind our readers that when they see the word men or man italicized, we do not use it as applying to Adam and his race, but we may sometimes use these words in the general and accepted sense of them. But it is only for the purpose of getting getting before the minds of our readers. The minds of our readers. That means that the heart, right? The propositions of the learned of this age exactly as they would wish them to be stated. Learned. That means given some shit. We will now describe ethnologically the prominent characteristics and differences of these two races as we now find them. The white race have long, straight hair, high foreheads, high noses, thin lips, white skins. The olive and sunburnt color, where the other characteristics are found, belonging equally to the white race. The Negro or black race are woolly or kinky-headed, low foreheads, flat noses, thick lip, and have a black skin. We've already debunked this fake Jew bitch, didn't we? We had to go to the what's-called islands and all around. We're talking about people not mixed with blonde hair, straight, wavy, beautiful, slim noses and everything. The fact that they have most of the people in the Fijis and Hawaii just as dumb as fuck, not knowing they're true, except for what they taught them. I have pictures of the true Hawaiians. One of the motherfuckers was darker than the most midnight African I ever seen. But see, this is what I'm talking about. And what are they doing to the dumbasses now? They're stealing the lands, damn near all the homes, if you want to have a good ones, over $500,000 to $800,000 fucking dollars. This is because of the foolishness based on what Presley did, the entertainment, the fake Jews. That's right, the mafia and all of them going to Hawaii, which didn't even have a treaty after they unset the real king and queen there. Y'all know this, man. And they was dark as hell too. And they tried to whitewash that picture until I found some real pictures of how dark they were. Like the Hindus. Oh, they're darker than most of our people talking about, hey, black Americans. Shut the fuck. You're not even Indian, you're Hindustani. Which now you're three different races based on religious factions. Not just Pakistan and Hindu and Sikh and all this other stuff. There's another, y'all know it, right? I don't want to give it no energy. The problem is who you think created it. Well, who took over the fake castle over there in England? Who took over the Vatican, which was no church, no place of religious consort. They didn't build shit, all right? And the people in Norway and Sweden and all that and Finland and, you know. So let me go on here, right? Check this out. Thick lips and all big noses, all this goofy shit. She must not be looking over there in Louisiana and motherfucking Georgia. Them motherfuckers. Anyway. So anyway, therefore the reader will observe that when either the terms white or black or Negro is used, referring to race, that we refer to the one or the other, as the case may be, as he is here set forth in describing the two. It's so small. In God's nomenclature of the creation, his order stands thus: 1, birds; 2, fowls; 3, creeping things; 4, cattle; 5, beasts; 6, Adam and Eve. That's 7. This is some fake Jew shit. Anyway, all right. We shall use this, but without any intended disparagement to any, as it is the best and highest authority. So, what did the dumb bitch just say? Think about it. Do you see the hypocrisy and the contradiction? And for this to be even in the law and the Library of Congress, this is New Age shit. Okay, before proceeding with the examination of the subjects involved in the caption to this paper, we will for a moment notice the prevailing errors now existing in all their strength. Errors, this might change your mind, and held by the clergy and many learned men to be true, which are Ham's name, which they allege in Hebrew means black. The curse denounced against him, that a servant of servants should be unto his brethren, and that this curse was denounced against Ham for the accidental seeing of his father Noah naked. That this curse was to do so, and did change him, so that instead of being long, straight hair, high forehead, high nose, thin lips, and white, as he then was, and like his brothers Shem and Japhet, he was from that day forth to be kinky-headed, low forehead, thick lip, and black skin, and that his name, and this is what they taught when these fake Jews created the Ku Klux Klan. This is the shit they taught these orphans and all these these orphans and these Cabbage Patch children as they grew, with us teaching them the ways of our land. This is what they taught them. This fake Jew bitch right here, okay? You remember the year, all right? All right? By this bitch. 1867, because they wanted the land and they wanted you off of it. This is a year and a half after Lincoln's assassination. All right. You can look by aerial. Just look up by aerial in the Library of Congress and see if you can pull a picture up of this bitch. I ain't gonna go over, I'm not gonna read it all. I just want you to hear this. Let's go to it. I'm showing you the hypocrisy of these dumb bastards. And you know, some of you are still debating these Native Americans and all these motherfuckers. Stop debating these idiots. They don't know no fucking better. They've been grafted into the, that's why they're establishing a new world order, because they done fucked everybody up except for a handful of you who know the truth. All right? Don't go reading no black Hebrew Israelite shit too. I mean, if it satisfies you, then so be it. All right? But they're contextually fucked up because it's so religious and dichotomy. It's just ridiculous. So you can go to Zonovan and Not the Negroes, and it's the same bitches that print all these books. And they were playing it safe. They got their little fake ass savior here. Y'all see that soon enough. So why were black people written about so negatively in the Babylonian Talmud before the 17th and 18th centuries? All right, the story of Noah and others. Who do you think wrote it? I just want to know if any of y'all searched that shit out. All right. Okay, let me go over here and pull this one up. All right, now this is what I wanted to get into. So in 1901, now just relax and just listen. 1901, William Hannibal Thomas. Now I want y'all to see this goofy, this is a Gujar. They always say he's a Negro, an African. This is a Gujar. Theodore Albert Herzl. It's black and white, but even Theodore Albert Herzl was dark as fuck. And y'all got to see a real picture of him? So this is the same kind of monkey, okay? 1901, William Hannibal Thomas on the American Negro. 19th century black conservative William Hannibal Thomas was a Civil War veteran, Reconstruction-era South Carolina politician, and U.S. Consul to Portuguese Southwest Africa, Angola. Portuguese. He is most famous, however, as the author of the 1901 book, The American Negro. What he was, what he is, and what he may become. A critical and practical discussion. The passage below excerpted from his book describes the positions Thomas stakes out on the problems and challenges facing African Americans at the dawn of the 20th century. And this is decisions just like Jekyll that was being based on creating a new narrative, a word that would not hold because our people kept fighting. We ain't gonna call us that. We're the Indians. The plantations wasn't no slave place. That was our fucking land to which we enumerated and we had to stay on after the war. All right? The original reservations. In the autumn of 1876, I was elected a member of the this is 11 years after you know who was murdered. A member of the legislature of South Carolina, and when that body convened, I was made chairman of its leading committee during the stormy period. My services contributed to no slight measure to the settlement of the presidential issue of that year. About the same time that I was elected a state representative, I was admitted to practice before the state Supreme Court and also commissioned a colonel of the National Guard. I have never regarded the political rights of the freedmen as essential to freedmen, all right? Essential to his well-being, though I have no sympathy with the forcible methods which are employed to prevent his exercising them. When therefore the critical stage in Reconstruction was reached, my conviction was confirmed by which we were building this motherfucker, by the ease with which the existing Republican governments of the South were overthrown. And it was then that I gave up the practice of law and withdrew from active participation in politics in order that I might devote my chief attention to the educational and social advancement of the freedmen. In pursuance, y'all know what freedmen meant. It don't mean they were freed from slavery. In pursuant of that purpose, I built churches, established schoolhouses, and created facilities for primary instruction in localities where such were before unknown, never existed. The redirection, refunction, and re-education, the miseducation, as Lauryn Hill, a good friend of mine, said, of the Negro. Nor did I cease endeavors to observe and study the Negro in every phase of his existence until I had visited every southern state and community. I have slept in bare cabins, sat on earthen floors, and eaten corn pone, and witnessed as much genuine self-respect in log huts as I have ever beheld in the most pretentious Negro homes. I have kept step with the illiterate freedmen who didn't speak this raggedy fucking language the way it's spoken, as he pursued his daily round of toil in the field or forest, and sat in rapt attention in his hearthstone at night while he recounted his own privations or drew vivid pictures of what he dreamed, but dared not hope his children might become. I have also witnessed the ostentatious flauntings of Negro pretensions in church, in the schoolrooms, in social. They were doing their best to blend in their ancient ways with the new ways. Social intercourse, and in material undertaking, and been moved to righteous indignations at the follies of a race blind to every passing opportunity. We weren't citizens. We were freedmen because we were wild and free. I have now a word to say to a larger audience, the American people, because in my judgment, the Negro question embodies the most momentous problem that has engaged the attention of the nation. I think I have fairly diagnosed the racial situation and have pointed out rationale and efficient remedies for the elimination of race disabilities. While nothing which I have written concerning the habits of the freedmen is new to the Negroes themselves. Make it make sense. Who in their secluded gatherings show no reluctance to talk freely of themselves. Murder's a motherfucker. Yet so far as the white race is concerned, there is very little firsthand knowledge regarding these topics. Of course not. The motherfuckers were getting off boats and they were being told to make war against us by these fake ass you-know-whats. Y'all see it unfolding in Palestine. You watched it over the last 70 fucking years, and you cannot attest for nothing here when you even know the story of the Ottoman Empire, what they attempted to do in the south of Africa with the Pelskins that were already there. The same thing with the islands, how they murdered all the people in fake-ass name Easter Island, which that is not his name. They hid lands from you. We were the Republic, and them fake-ass Jews wanted to create something new, so they created democracy, which is steeped in fascism and Marxism. And they got enough dumb niggas who want to buy into that shit when the Republic was solid because it helped the whole world. So now you got enough ignorant motherfuckers. And this is why you have the dynamic stretch you have. And the dynamic doesn't mean good, and it means further ignorance. Like sellout, half-breeded, worthless, fucking miseducated son of bitches, just like they tried to do with John Rolfe with Pocahontas. They tried to take it away to make babies. That's right. They were raping the fuck out of and fucking the fuck out of to make babies. Kill their ass. And that's why we went to war again on my mom's side of the family. You could say Chief Wahana he had goddamn a plethora of nicknames and names. Most of them dumbasses couldn't even mention. So you can go ahead and you can read this for yourself as far as the Black Past, which is a narrative. And you got to remember, you got to look at, and I'm not going to do it. Go and pull it up and look at who's the author, who's the whatchamacallit of this shit. Okay? And you see the fallacy. Let me go ahead and get two more things, and then we'll carry it on. Where's that? Okay. So, teaching American history. Who, you know what? Let me go into my notes, man. Fuck that. I got notes that's better than that shit. Who and what is a Negro? The domestic policy, race and equality, rights and liberty, social reform of Marcus Garvey. January 16, 1923. This is out of a book that I have, y'all. This is my notes. This is let me read this. Marcus fucking Garvey, who failed. Because our people still wasn't with the shits. My great-grandma said she couldn't stand that piece of shit. The New York World, under date of New York, go figure, under date of January 15, 1923, published a statement of Doctors Clark Whistler and Franz Boas. Do I really need to say any more? Oh, y'all don't know who Doctors Clark Whistler is? Oh, y'all never heard of that. I was hoping that somebody would have mentioned that. My beloved Creamio and all my other people's Baby Girl Slaughter. I want y'all to look up Clark Whistler. Now, we hear about everybody else. I got like 5 other doctors' names is involved in this shit when we get further in. I love energy and information sharing. Now, if some of you mention it, beautiful. People need to know the diatribe. And then y'all start getting back to those who communicated to change who the fuck we are. Anyway, the latter, in parentheses, the latter, a professor of anthropology at Columbia University, and confirming the statement of the French that Moroccan and Algerian troops used in the invasion of Germany were not to be classified as Negroes because they were not of that race. How the French and these gentlemen arrive at such a conclusion is marvelous to understand, but I feel it is the old-time method of depriving the Negro of anything that would tend to make him recognized in any useful occupation or captivity. The custom, oh, that's right. Y'all didn't know that? Oh, see, they got all these with these fake ass Hollywood movies painted like white folks was great beating everybody's ass. Bullshit. Without us, y'all would have never fucking won shit. Look, it's a fucking fact. Anyway, how the French and these gentlemen arrive at such a conclusion is marvelous to understand, but I feel it is, and you gotta remember, Marcus Garvey was a big lying motherfucking sack of shit, just like Haile Selassie. The custom of these anthropologists is whenever a black man, whether he be Moroccan, Algerian, Senegalese, or whatnot, accomplishes anything of importance, he is no longer a Negro. The question therefore suggests itself. Who and what is a Negro? The answer is, a Negro is a person of dark complexion or race, who has not accomplished anything and to whom others are not obligated for any useful service. If the Moroccans and Algerians were not needed by the French at this time to augment their occupation of Germany or to save the French nation from extinction, they would have been called Negroes as usual. But now that they have rendered themselves useful to the higher appreciation of France, they are no longer members of the Negro race, but can be classified among a higher type as made out by the two professors. Bullshit. Them motherfucking Negroes over there were fighting because they were French. They were fighting to prove themselves after being conquered or docile after so many people poisoned and murdered, just like they tried to do here with our people. Poison and murder them until motherfuckers realized what was going on, started sounding the horns and the bells, and went to start killing these goddamn crackers all over this land. That's the story they don't fucking tell you. And then them fake ass Jews said, we have a different approach. So they started bringing more of them motherfuckers over there, and people over there getting their ass kicked. They ain't gonna give you that story. That's why you think they created that yellow cake and all that shit and all those fucking what do you call it? Chemical weapons. They're gonna give you because they show you in the movie so you buy into it, but they don't tell you the truth of all those so-called melanated people who that shit was utilized on. There was no fair fight. Now you got all the pussies running around like they're badasses while they're training them up. Guerrilla warfare and everything. Our people worried about ass clapping plastic weaves and this, that, and the other, looking stupid as fuck, having a hard time making decisions because of the chemical about them. You think it's one silent weapons for fucking quiet wars, and here y'all are. Let me go on with this punk nigga Garvey, who died at 40-something years old, broke in an empty damn apartment in the UK. And he ain't supposed to be from the Caribbean? Anyway, who and what is the Negro? The answer is a Negro is a person of dark complexion or race, and we know that to be bullshit. All right? I am not your Negro, punk-ass motherfuckers. Anyway, whether these professors or France desire to make the Moroccans other than Negroes, we are satisfied that their propaganda before has made these people to understand that their destiny is linked up with all other men of color throughout the world. And now that the hundreds of millions of darker peoples are looking toward one common union and destiny through the effort of universal cooperation, we have no fear that the Moroccans and Algerians will take care of the situation in France and Germany peculiar to the interests of Negroes throughout the world. There wasn't no other fucking Negroes throughout the world. We was on four corners, yes, but they were sacking out to murder them. Let us not be flattered by white anthropologists and statesmen who from time to time, because of our success here, there, or anywhere, try to make out that we are no longer members of the Negro race. If we were Negroes when we were down under the heel of oppression, when will we be Negroes when we are up and liberated from such thraldom? No, fuck, nobody in my family is no goddamn Negro as far as the narrative, but as far as who we are as the true now, because you got to remember, these motherfuckers want you dead. So to call yourself black and Negro means that you're putting a spell on yourself. You're saying you're black and dead in existence, and that you're a necromancer. That means you're the living dead. You are dead and don't know it yet. And I'm so tired of these goofy motherfuckers who don't know no better. Aren't words spelled? You can accept the fact that television, programming, and channeling is a thing. The fact that when you get no bill and you're not working in this worthless fiat to which these dumb bastards believe in, based on some laws that don't exist but only policies taught by the same bastards doing what they're doing on that land and everywhere else they did, you're traveling. There's a rule 1923 that shows it doesn't matter horse and buggy, they call it horsepower and motherfucking the carriage, right? Which you sit in the cab or carriage, right? The taxi cab, taxi meaning to travel or to take a participant somewhere, vice versa what? Come on, man. These some bitches got everybody so conflicted they can't even make heads or tail. We're down under the hill. We already read that? Okay, good. So you got that. Negroes robbed of their history. The white world has always, what white world? The white world has always tried to rob and discredit us of our history. They tell us that I hate the way they misspell these names. Tutankhamun, a king of Egypt who reigned about the year 1350 BC before Christ, and no such thing as Christ, was not, we'll get into that later on, reading the Flatlanders and other books. Was not a Negro. That the ancient civilization of Egypt and the pharaohs was not of our race, but that does not make the truth unreal. Every student of history of impartial mind knows that the Negro once ruled the world when white men were savages and barbarians living in caves. That thousands of Negro professors at that time taught in universities in Alexandria, then the seat of learning. That ancient Egypt gave to the world civilization, and that Greece and Rome have robbed Egypt of her arts and letters and taken all the credit to themselves. It is not surprising, however, that white men should resort to every means to keep Negroes in ignorance of their history. It would be a great shock to their pride to admit to the world today that 3,000 years ago, fake ass 3,000 years ago, black men excelled in government and were the founders and teachers of art, science, and literature. The power and sway we once held passed away, but now in the 20th, because we started fucking with things we weren't supposed to, that these dumb motherfuckers think they're going to lock into, which they've not. 20th century, we are about to see a return of it in the rebuilding of Africa. Yes, a new civilization, a new culture shall spring up from among our people, and the Nile shall once more flow through the land of science, of art, and literature, wherein will live black men of the highest learning and the highest accomplishments. Professor George A. Kirshner, head of the Harvard-Boston expedition to the Egyptian Sudan. Let me say his name again. Professor George A. Kessner, another one of them goddamn Chazars, to the Egyptian Sudan, returned to America early in 1923. And after describing the genius of the Ethiopians and their high culture during the period of 750 BC to 350 AD in Middle Africa, he declared the Ethiopians were not African Negroes. He described them as a dark-colored race showing a mixture of black blood. Imagine a dark-colored man in Middle Africa being anything else but a Negro. First of all, nobody in Africa was a fucking Negro. Nobody in Africa other than our relatives of Shem, spread on all four corners. Us being the one group of Shem here. That's why they said the American Negro. Some people came, was black people that created this under the guise of fake Jews, Negro de Terra and Negro de Guinea. Then all of a sudden that went away because they couldn't keep up. There's so many lies. That's all these motherfuckers do. I'm not going to read this. Y'all can go and get his notes. This is in my notes, all right? Y'all can go and get the fucking notes yourselves, okay? All right? You can go get and read it yourself, okay? And there's so much more. There's one more I wanted to read. All right. But y'all let these motherfuckers sit and have you here stitched up, going back and forth, arguing with motherfuckers who don't know shit, who never created shit, never invented shit, ain't built shit. And the mound builders will not know pale skin, not know pale skins by the narrative. All right. And they damn sure want no goddamn mongrels like the Great Wall of China that goes all the way through Louisiana wasn't built by them motherfuckers calling themselves Chinese. Okay. Where's that? Well, you heard Whistler. I told you to look up Dr. Whistler. And then Franz Boas, and you're going to see a picture with a whole bunch of them. Start looking up each individual as the names come up. And you'll start gaining more knowledge about the liars and exactly why you're in the position and the situation you're in. That's enough for that. Okay, let's go ahead and read a little bit. Okay. What message was there? Yeah, game over. That's not even important right now. That sounds kind of gay. Let me just shout everybody out that came up in here. Omac, Delusions, Omac. We're going to read some good shit. These three right here, out of 100 Years of Lynching, now you'll see what I'm saying. T. Hans, what's up, beloved? Baby Girl Slaughter, Snoo, what's up, baby? Indigo Turtle, what's slapping, Bonita Mikkel. Greetings to all, yes, greetings. Benji, what's going on? Alician, what's up? Hey, did y'all check out that last one? It was 4 hours long, but it was worth every fucking minute of it. So Ganja had a short one. Curmio had a nice one, man. That troll, man, that motherfucker was the hit. Y'all gotta check it out, man. Y'all gotta check it out. I got some videos. Y'all see what I'm gonna do with them. All right, so Alicia and Tians, I got you. Bonita Mikel. Been a while since I've been here, Red. Still had that fire. Yeah, you know, we all got the fire. It's just we got to, Marcus Williams was up above. We all got to snap it. We got to allow it to shine. You know what I'm saying? Camille, what's up? Peter Vito, what's going on? What's going on, beloved? What's happening? Charles Johnson, what's happening? Part of Turtle Line, the more people. Craig R, yes, they are. PD, what's going on, beloved? What's happening? It's good to have y'all up in here. Yes, I was in the live. Oh, okay. He had no leg to stand on. Let me read this. This is 100 Years of Lynching. We're just going to read what I'm going to do, because I'm not going out today, and I'm actually about to make me another ribeye steak, and I'm going to do one of my great grandmas with the green. I got a green tomato and some good red onions. I'm going to cut them up and fry them, and yeah, man, it's going to be good. And maybe about 5 asparagus tips. So we're going to read 100 Years of Lynching, Facts of Facts, and then we're going to get a little into the just a little bit of the Negro Project. And then the last 3 books we're going to read later, okay? All right, so this is by Ralph Ginsburg, again, okay? Now, I told you there's a book showing you that it wasn't just melanated people lynched. But here, listen to this. New York News, December 16, 1922. Texas mob holds lynching B. Streetman text, December 14. This town is noted for lynching, or rather, for burning men at the stake, as 3 colored men have met their fate in that manner during the last 3 months. So it was a matter of course for the mob, which shot and killed George Gay, a young man residing in Fairfield. Gay, aged 25, was accused by the mob of having attacked a young woman who told the police that some man had placed a sack over her head and stuffed her mouth with cotton. No criminal assault was alleged, as the girl said that the man became frightened and ran. A mob of 1,500 then gathered. 1,500 then gathered, bent on injuring some colored man. Word reached Fairfield, and hundreds of men and women drove to street men in buggies. The girl failed to identify Gay when confronted by him. However, he was locked up in a small house under heavy guard, pending arrival of bloodhounds from the state penitentiary at Huntsville. Now, you got to remember, this man was a hard worker, a builder. Okay, you got to look these individuals up to know their background. Twitch these fake Jews, but it doesn't matter what book they write. They want to sensationalize on the murder and have people twisted. And then they want to see how docile you are about the fluoride and everything, that you don't take no action. Somebody said, how do you feel about that little white girl that got her ass whooped by the sister? Are you aware that the white girl was bullying the sister, and the sister whooped her ass very bad and it made news? because they want to push division. I'm not here saying that we need to come together with all these dumbasses, but there are a number of them who aren't what they appear to be, and there's a lot of them who are good, decent people, and most of you don't live in a place to know this because you're so busy fighting your damn selves, and that's just the reality, all right? And they're their own downfall and their own destruction because they were manipulated and educated by the sons of bitches. Some of them say they can't understand. So anyway, to identify, Gay when confronted by him, however, he was locked up in a small house under heavy guard pending arrival of bloodhounds from the state penitentiary in Huntsville, and he had their own land. But a mob does not wait for bloodhounds. Hence, the guard were overpowered, and Gay was brought. They weren't overpowered. Out into the highway and shot to death. The mob then set fire to the Streetman Hotel, the only one owned by colored people in the city. Think about it. The mob seemed bent on doing more damage, but was dispersed by the police. Pittsburgh American, this is news on what you call it. December 29th, 1922. Pay attention to the years. Fake ass night. It's really 922. You know it's 1,000 years at it, but we're going to keep it in the narrative. Before some fake sellout motherfucker come talking about fat chick and with some more made up shit. Anyway, 2 lynched as warning to all nigger loafers. Pilot Point, Texas, December 29th. 2 Negroes detained yesterday in connection with the theft of 2 horses were missing from the jail this morning. An unsigned note was posted on the door of the local newspaper reading, "Both niggers got what they had coming. Let this be a warning to all nigger loafers. Niggers get a job or leave town." 2 Negroes disappeared from the jail here in a similar manner several months ago. Nothing has been heard of them since. Yeah, they were too busy stealing land, stealing the agriculture, stealing the so-called animals, because you got to remember who created the horseshoe and the goddamn saddle. Oh, that's right. They gave you fake history, banging on all these fake ass wars and shit, wars and rumors of wars. You think it's about now? Y'all don't really have a clue. Yes, we were the fucking cowboys, the original ones. What do you think they were bringing all these motherfuckers on the coast, the island of the Carolinas, which y'all call California, and Kakalaki, which y'all call North and South Carolina, which is backwards in reverse, and the Gulf, the Choctaw, which they call the Gulf of Mexico, which should be of the island of Mexico, which was never existent because Texas was never Texas, it was Louisiana. I don't like the world that we live in, but you motherfuckers really don't know the truth, so you like everything that you've been given and don't. That's right, because you got to remember, my father's side came from through South America, or migrated all the way up north, motherfuckers. The original ones that settled in Mexico and all that shit. So tired of that shit. That's why I said, yeah, I got cousins in Costa Rica. Don't get it fucked up. Check this out. This one is a good one. The Negroes disappeared from the jail. Y'all heard that. But no one was ever heard about it. St. Louis Argus. Argus. Jason and the Argonauts. Why would we have a paper called Argus here? January 12th, 1923. Discover that lynched victim was dark-skinned white. Shreveport, Louisiana. January 9th. Leslie Leggett was kidnapped last Wednesday night by a band of masked white men and riddled with bullets on the outskirts of town. Police Chief Bassar said complaints had reached him earlier that Leggett was in the habit of associating with white women. Leggett's employer, a white grocer named Charles Papa, in whose house Leggett roomed, later said that Leggett was not a Negro, but a swarthy complexioned Spaniard. Most of the original Spaniards were fucking niggas. Anybody want to challenge me on that? Facts Are Facts by Benjamin H. Friedman. You see how easy it is to put pieces together, to paint a mosaic? To not have to dig into the cupboard to find that corner that goes to a puzzle that you've been working on for 10 years and you could just never find it. There was always that little book over there that everybody ignored. So anyway, excellent book. I read the whole thing though. That's the book I was laying up besides a new one I have that I was reading. So check this out. Oh, shit. Al, hold on, man. He's giving me that man. He wants to go out. Check it out. Your reaction to the facts called to your. This is the letter being read. All right, to one doctor. Yeah. Okay. Want to make sure I didn't skip over. Did I skip over that page? No, I did not. Because you got to remember, this is going to Dr. David Goldstein, LLD. Did I skip over that page? All right. So, yeah, this is actually Benjamin H. Friedman, who's come to the reality of the situation, and like many other Chazars who don't partake in the lie of calling themselves Jews or anything, or and know that they don't speak Hebrew. Yiddish is not an Aramaic or Hebrew language. Hell, they finished concocting the language in 1933. Your action to the facts called to your attention in this letter can prove to be one of the most crucial verdicts ever reached, bearing upon the security of the Christian faith in recent centuries, and he also became a Christian. He helped create Zionism, one of those, okay? In keeping with this great responsibility, I sincerely commend this sentiment to you, hoping that you will earnestly study the contents of this letter from its first word to its very last word. All who know you are in the fortunate position to know how close this subject is to your heart. By your loyalty to the high ideas you have observed during the many years you have labored so valiantly on behalf of the Christian faith, you have earned the administration or admiration you enjoy. The Christian faith you chose of your own free will in the prime of life is very proud of you in more ways than a convert. Regardless of what anyone, anywhere, and anytime in this whole wide world may say to the contrary, mind you. Events of recent years everywhere establish beyond any question of a doubt that the Christian faith today stands with one foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel, figuratively speaking, of course. Only those think otherwise who deliberately shut their eyes to realities or who do not choose to see even their eyes wide open, but wide shut. I believe you to be too realistic to indulge yourself in the futile folly of fooling yourself. That's why there's a reason why I don't have a problem with Christianity, nor those convert Jews, if they weren't so caught up in a fictional new creation called the Talmud. No, I'm serious. That is brand new. Y'all know the individual that created it, the fake rabbi? Who remembers when the year the rabbi was invented? What was it, the 3rd century? Mind you, we're in the 10th. So the 3rd, and you have all these conquests and wars that we read in Arthur Koestler up until a certain period when you could add 5 to 1,000 years of silence. This was the purgatory of successions of deception, deceit. We say the silent weapons for silent wars. We read it, Arthur Koestler. You go back and watch the video, okay? Then all of a sudden they pop up on the map, and again, here they are, power. Now the Rome exists and all these other things, fictional things that didn't exist before. Now they all of a sudden exist because they were rewriting history, creating a narrative before they said, let's go the fuck over here. Like I told you, whenever I hear people come to me talking about Christopher Columbus, first thing I do is like, we don't have no conversation. There's somebody that have that conversation with you. But if you don't know about Hernando Zarco and his cousins and everybody, if you don't know about the truth of Napoleon, even Napoleon's name, we have nothing to talk about. Because you're stuck in the world they created using real-time events and affairs that they've turned around and created a whole new narrative, rewrote, made up shit. That's like when everybody talking about the cowboys, the Western spaghetti Westerns of slapping your face. Because that shit wasn't really like that. Those were the bums who couldn't read, didn't know how to build shit. Wanted to rob and take because they were being refused to do so. It was our fucking gold. Our gems and rubies. Why in Oklahoma, when they wanted to go there, this fake-ass government that was just coming in a petition was allowed by certain black fucking families to go there and drop turpentine bombs. This is Black Wall Street, right? Man, they attacked that little bit right there and made a big history of it. Then when all the fucking Negroes and everything, World War I came and fucked all them damn Mongols and Paleskins up, they rebuilt the motherfucker. But slow process, that's why Rockefeller came and started. They were poisoning the water. They were doing shit you know nothing about, you'll never hear about. Because if they was to share that and put it in a movie, then everybody would be like, what? What? They murdered all the real indigenous people here. And then you had the Ket and the Arabs, you know, Wild Wills, motherfucking Wild West show, right? Welfare. They were pedophiles chasing little boys, trying to fuck them in the ass. What'd they do with them? Well, you did such a good job. We're going to put you on these reservations, not on the plantations. Ain't no Mongol ever had no motherfucking original person as a slave, motherfucker. We were taking care of you monkeys. You don't want to have that debate with me, with your fake ass history. Anyway, let's go and get back in here. Oh, I'm on one. Tired of it. Anyway. I believe you to be too realistic to indulge yourself in the futile folly of fooling yourself. It is clear that the Christian faith today stands at the crossroads. What's that at? Of its destiny. The divine and sacred mission of the Christian faith is in jeopardy. Today, to a degree never witnessed before in this long history of almost 2,000 years. The Christian faith needs loyal friends now as never before. I somehow feel that you can always be counted upon as one of his loyal friends. You cannot oversimplify the present predicament of the Christian faith. The problem it faces is too self-evident to mistake. It is in a critical situation. Now, when the day arrives that Christians can no longer profess their Christian faith as they profess it today in the free world, the Christian faith will have seen the beginning of its last days. You see that right now. Another reason why I don't have a problem with the Christian faith, because it was built off of King James murder. I learned that in Edinburgh, Scotland. When he came here for 5 to 6 years, there was no goddamn Christian religion. He came here, he sat with our people, Narragansett, Algonquin, he met all of them. Don't listen to these goofy niggas in the cities with their little made up fucking red wall, all this shit they got. No, they can have it. But don't, because they don't know the first fucking thing. And when he went back, he was one of the last melanated kings they had to kill. Do you know how many melanated kings and queens they murdered? They murdered Lincoln. He was no president. He was a fucking con. We don't have to get into Press of John, do we? See, a lot of people like the world they gave. All right? But it's all been a lie. And so 6 to 7 years later, all of a sudden you got these fake ass Portuguese fucking Jews coming here, and they're bringing a Bible back telling them this is y'all stuff in Algonquin, but we need some help deciphering some more shit. And that's what the fuck we gave them. And they went and twisted that all the fuck up, because now you had people poison them at these. There was no holiday. Thanksgiving didn't exist. We were just gratuitous because it was a free world. Free energy in our grand cities. And ceremonially, we always took them to the wigwam, the longhouses. The wigwams they couldn't go to. The longhouses were ceremonial, and that's how they were able to poison a whole lot of folk, murder a whole lot of folk, and that's what they did. And doing so, grand cities of people. And they want people to hold on to some fake ass. When I told you 450,000 Jews or fake ass Jews existed in Germany, and they want you to hold on to 6 million. Like that's supposed to mean something. We've been paying out billions of dollars everywhere in every other country to these fake motherfuckers who have been slowly establishing themselves and putting them in all governments so they can have this fucking war, so they can destroy all of you because of your fucking ignorance. I know more than you could fucking imagine, but we're not here for that. Let me go ahead and finish reading this Christian shit. But I still have more respect for them. When the day arrives that Christians can no longer profess their Christian faith as they profess it today in the free world, the Christian faith will have seen the beginning of its last days. What already applies to 50% of the world's total population can surely apply equally to 100% of the world's total population. It is highly conceivable, judging from present trends, the malignant character of this malady is just as progressive as cancer. It will surely prove as fatal also unless steps are taken now to reverse its course. What is now being done toward arresting its progress are reversing its trend. I'd rather still see Christianity here without racism and dumbass pale skins who don't know shit. The problem is you have a whole bunch of pale skins who've been lied to by a bunch of goddamn pork chop, scorpion-like fucking preachers, just like in the so-called black community, that have lied to everybody and got them all divided and segregated and built upon a ship of bullshit, like where everybody's got to debate who is what and what is who with some fake-ass, white-looking Jesus and this whole completely made-up fucking narrative. How many of y'all looked at what I told you to look into? Notre Dame, fucking Igor, or what you want to call the Hunchback of Notre Dame, the true description as far as going down the South, so-called, I hate saying down, y'all know we're on a plane, but so-called South America, and learn the story about a little short 4'5" motherfucker, about 5 foot, who had a hunch in his back, walked with a cane, wavy hair, looked like that little black white-haired motherfucker that was always with black which called samurai, you know, that motherfucker, right? Who was always up running around, and this motherfucker had only one eye and had the face only a mother could love because he was ugly as fuck in as dark as midnight in South America. And these motherfuckers saw him doing amazing shit, and they said, we got to kill this son of a bitch. Then you jump into the story of Simeon Montoko, no different. All right, if you didn't research it, then that ain't my problem. It's yours. Anyway, let's get back over there. My dear Goldstein, can you recall the name of the philosopher who is quoted as saying that nothing in this world is permanent except change? That philosophy must be applied to the Christian faith also. The $64 question remains whether the change will be for the better or for the worse. The problem is that simple. If the present trend continues for another 37 years in the same direction and at the same rate traveled for the past 37 years, the Christian faith as it is professed today by Christians will have disappeared from the face of the earth. In what form, one form, or by what instrumentality, the mission of Jesus Christ will thereupon and thereafter continue to make itself manifest here on earth is as unpredictable as it is inevitable. Now, we already been over, and somebody was like grateful that I did it, and I would read it again, but I'm not going to. Was grateful that I read Frederick Douglass's narrative about the Christian, though he likes, because they wanted to make him from Scotland or something, all that. When he said, though he likes the good Christian faith and ideology, he cannot stand the cradle robbing, woman beating. And what he's saying is the lie of it, because it is not a religion of this land. It was used to indoctrinate all them goddamn orphan babies that we were wet nursing and taking care of, raising and showing them our ways, to which in another 20, 30 years, they would start lynching and murdering our people to take the land masses, this, that, as their relatives who all of a sudden realized, oh, my sons and daughters made it, coming here to the land, and they were getting off the boat and fighting all of us, our union. That means Blackamoor, Shiloh land, and all that shit. The original rebels of this fucking land who rebelled against the persecution and the lies coming from the foreigners. And all the deaths in our cities buried under waters when the dams were so supposedly being built. It's like Planet of the Apes. We just came here just to get the electric back on for our people. But they went and won the war against them. It's the same thing. You want to use the dam to redirect, so that way, you know, and then the first thing is redirect right onto our cities and flood our people in their beds and their sleeps while they slept. Now, some people said, oh, yeah, we found 2. I says, nigga, the people have found 7 to 12. I told you there's 23 cities that are under fucking water in man-made fucking rivers, and they're there. The Negro Project, Bruce Flaherty, Margaret Sanger's duplicitous, diabolical, you know, dangerous anything. All right, by Ron Edwards, okay? Y'all, I'm not gonna show that bitch face. She good and dead, and they probably trying to bring her ass back. Let's go ahead and get it. The Schindlers were busy as well and formed the Terry Schindler Schiavo Foundation in 2000 to garner support for their side of the issue. 3 years later, they changed the name to the Terry Schiavo Life and Hope Network. They also published a book of their own, A Life That Matters, The Life of Terry Schiavo, A Lesson for Us All, 2006. The same year that Michael's book was released. Now, you got to remember what this was. I know that I'm not going back, but anyway, you remember that the young girl or whatever, the whole thing was a mess, to put it mildly, and Michael certainly did himself no favors when it was revealed that he had begun an affair. The guy whose wife supposedly had an accident, come to find out he probably beat the shit, fucked her up. And while she was on life support, and they believe her not to be conscious, I tell you, even on life support, motherfuckers are still there. When that body is still breathing, it doesn't matter if it's a machine keeping it, that spirit is still there, locked in. This motherfucker was cheating, ready to get married, asked if the bitch died. And that's when they created this, okay? All right, just to let you know, A Life That Matters, The Life of Terry Schiavo, A Lesson for Us All. You can pick the book up if you want to read it. All right, the same year that Michael's book was released, the bastard. Charges of financial financial improprieties have also flown back and forth between the two sides. For example, Michael has alleged that Terry's family has benefited from improperly using her name in the foundation's fundraising activities, a name he contends they have no right to use since he owns it. And yeah, because he wanted her he wanted her dead, but there was a thing, I think, was it Bush or whatever got involved, Obama, whoever the fuck, and they said stay. They says no, let her stay on the machine, but this motherfucker wanted her ass dead. So that, you know, it was up to, they wouldn't let the family decide. And they says, wait, she would never want to end her life. She would want to wait to find out, because she was that loving and a religious person, that something could be found to bring her back. This motherfucker wanted her gone. But you know who was left up to? The fucking state. Okay. So anyway, her name in the foundation's fundraising activities, a name he contends they have no right to use since he owns it. While the Schindlers, remember I said something about the Schindlers last time when you talk about World War II? Anyway, argue that they have the right to use her name since the attention resulting from the case had made her a public figure. Such developments as this have made it fairly safe to say that the effects of the Terry Schiavo case will be with us for quite some time to come. They have also made it clear that the euthanasia program, euthanizing, regardless of what name is attached to it, right to die, physician-assisted suicide, etc., isn't going away. That's why when they gave me that strike, remember that video they gave me strike, keep me off 3 months, and I mentioned a certain thing, and they always want to come with this medical information. I got a ton of books that would shut these goofy motherfuckers up on YouTube. Easily. Anyway, anytime soon, either. So what at the end of the day do we take away from this? What are we to learn? And how ultimately are we going to move on? Whatever our thinks of the final outcome, one particularly disturbing aspect of the Schiavo case was Judge Greer's ruling that the simple act of providing Terry with food and water through her feeding tube somehow constituted an unusual or heroic measure to keep her alive through her long, drawn-out ordeal. That is sick for any goddamn fiduciary, because that's not a judge, to even conspire to that. After all, would not one normally describe such an act as one of compassion? Well, I lived in New York, and I've seen something in the water, the air, make motherfuckers there, just like it did on the coastline of California in the 70s, and Philadelphia, when they sprayed that shit and had everybody over there all of a sudden out of nowhere fighting and killing each other. Go research it. This was not some kind of radical experiment that was being conducted on a human guinea pig. To the contrary, it was the decent, logical, and yes, Christian thing to do. The fact that an unelected, and by definition, unaccountable person who wears a black robe, unelected, and sits on a bench can so callously ignore the plea of a family who is ready, willing, and able to care for a loved one who is so horribly incapacitated as Terry Schiavo was, by providing her with the basic necessities of life, all without placing an undue burden on their fellow tax-paying citizen in the process, should send chills down the spine of every American who believes in the unalienable God-given right to life, that is laid down and set forth in the Declaration of Independence. Told you this system is nothing but some of the sickest fucks. And then y'all want to put y'all positions, self in positions. Now it doesn't even matter. You're a criminal, man. You're gonna be all right. Because everything you see going on with Diddy and all, that's all acts, man. You know, stop paying attention to Marlon, what's that guy's name? Brando, whatever the fucking name, and Jaguar Wright. Fucking the nerve to have a name. They're doing their best to stay relevant. And those interviews, anywhere from $5, $20 to $30 to $50,000, y'all. And y'all motherfuckers are so drama filled, you keep paying attention to this shit. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. I'm gonna come back and get into exposing expositions, but Behold a Pale Horse, which is really getting good, and of course Heaven Burgers. All right. I'm gonna take this one outside, get some sun. You can get my meal ready. Yeah, exactly at 5 o'clock. All right. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my butter in the skillet. Real butter, y'all. Real churn butter, man. That shit's so good. And hit that damn ribeye in that motherfucker. Should I do the sirloin tips? No, we're gonna do the ribeye in that motherfucker. Get them, and right beside it, once it's seared on one side, and I flip it over. Then I'm gonna put the asparagus tips, about 7 or 8, and some Brussels sprouts right there with some fresh butter in it. Hit it with that. Hit it with this salt right here, my Celtic salt, and a little bit of cayenne, and then get my green tomato. They already cut up on a plate. Green tomato. Oh my goodness. And red onion. They already cut up. And then once to get the greens up, throw them onions and green potato. Tomatoes, which is a fruit. And then red onion, throw that shit up in there. The steak should be run. Pull it out so it can sit, rest for about 5 or 10 minutes. Listen here. Y'all know I eat once a day, but goddamn, boy, y'all just don't know. Some of the guys know. They know about the way I cook. You know what I'm saying? What was that? Devin the Moore, you already know, yeah. Oh, you had muscle left and came back. Delusions. Yeah, the green tomatoes and onions is the bomb. I have a book with 6 solid pages of black inventions with patent numbers and all from the 1890s alone. Yeah, they go back before that. Craig, yeah. I have all that stuff. I actually worked at Thomas Edison's building for 2 years after the military. I used to visit it when I was a kid, though. I used to jog all the way up there to East Orange. Well, it's the Oranges, but I used to jog there going past, I believe it was Food Lion. It was something else before it was Food Lion. I forget. It was so long ago. Because I worked at Whole Foods on Wolford Avenue, you know, making, I used to make, he was sick at the time, Isaac Hayes. He used to come there with his him shims, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And he's been there, Red! I'm like, yo, they go with them shades all old and shit. And he come up and give me a prescription, and I used to make his juices for him. Yeah, it had to be made. It had to be made a certain way. Goddamn, I had to wash my hands 8 times. It's cool back there. I had to make his juice, and I couldn't put Isaac. We had to put Hayes on his juices that I used to make, because I was at night times when they would come through with her, and then Queen, y'all call, you know who. Both our brothers died. The Queen. Latifah used to come through. Yo, Greg, what's up? Yeah. You know, Red Man from Newark. I see all these people coming through there, motherfuckers from the news. And I used to be like, yo, I'm going to get my run on. I passed the house from Tishner by Nisha Wayne with the fire department. And I jog all the way down, past Food Line, and run all the way over to Thomas Edison's building, you know. So I worked there for over 2.5 years. That's where I first learned how to aluminum weld. And I met, but back in the day, I met 2 of the oldest surviving people that worked there in the 1940s, 50s. And they used to sit on their porch right across from the building. And Thomas Edison didn't even build that building. And all the brothers who worked there and all our inventions and everything. And some of them were just new because they had to find a new way to make things work, because they weren't pulling. Well, right now, there's a lot of things that use the ether around it to power it. Just, most people don't know it because they've been taught something else. You know, not to look into the fact that there are a lot of things that run off the ether right around them. But yeah, I'm an inventor myself. I've got plenty of books on inventions. I've read them over and over, just simple ones that are easy to pull up. And we're the ones, reason why you have everything you have. Most people have no clue. Because of who? The liars. The very liars that are now sitting in positions in government. And it's got all these, I don't even know how we got melanated people on this land. Because you got an influx of all these dumb bastards coming in because of drugs, the summer of love, and these swell-out niggas that work in the government is the reason why our people are fucked up. Okay? So, yeah. Appreciate y'all. I was just going back looking at some things, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the donations. I didn't look. If y'all donate, cool. We'll just next weekend we'll go ahead and get it. I actually talked to what's his name, told him that I'm going to setting up the open house. Rondo, I'll hit you up on the very day that I expect to do it, so motherfuckers can walk in and they can put the truck over there out there and grab how much, boom, 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 and get the fuck out of here. Because when it's all said, I actually got the black bag so I can start bagging some clothes up and drop off at. We got about 1 million fucking churches around going by the school. I ride by there and I be going like this. Anyway, right? And so I can drop the clothes off at them places over there. Just drop them off in the front or around the side. And because I'm ready to go. I got all my totes ready and everything. So I get my books and the things that I'm going to take. Because I'm ready. I'm fucking done. I had enough of this. Just the 5G, everything is just, it's absurd. You know what I'm saying? I had fucking enough. I really enjoy a lot of people. You know, I don't like the word love, but I'm eternally bonded to any and everybody. But the modem right now is, it's just so many stupid people, man. And I don't say that to be mean. It's fucking, hey, bro. Like, they did a good fucking job, bro. And that's an attaboy. You know what I'm saying? People are really fucking stupid. And it's all about material. It's not about the right thing, man. There's nothing eternal. There's nothing. It's like having light bulbs, man, with no power to them. You know what I mean? Anyway, appreciate y'all. Yeah, I lost weight. Yeah, this guy's funny. Anyway, I'll see y'all here shortly, all right?